here. Yeah. Anand, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you share the screen? Are you able to do it?
Yes,
yeah.
Ma'am.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Now let me discuss about activity questions for week 7. Okay. So here, okay, we are going to discuss activity questions on exception handling now. So lecture from 7.1. See here. First question. Lecture 7.1. So in which of the following cases will an exception be raised? Okay. So see the options and please tell me in which of the following cases, okay, exception raised. Okay. See the first option, second option, third option, and fourth option.
Okay. First, second, and fourth.
Yeah, somebody give an answer.
The first option, second option, and fourth option.
First option, second option, and fourth option. No. Okay, good.
Sir.
Why first option? Why third? Not third option.
Third option will be a compiler error.
Yeah, so syntactical errors, okay, identified by the compiler at compile time only. Okay, but exception, okay, so exception raised at runtime, not at compile time. No. Okay, exception is also a error, but it raised at runtime, not at compile time. So all syntactical errors, okay, so identified by the compiler at compile time only. So this is okay. So this is not okay the case. Okay, so we will not get any exceptions. Okay, due to syntactical errors. Okay, now so see here. So int a is equal to new int of 10. Okay, so here, okay, you declared an array with the size 10. Okay, means here you are able to store values in an array from 0 to 9. 0 to 9. So here you are trying to insert, okay, you are trying to, okay, add an element to an array, okay, at index 10. Okay, actually the possible indexes 0 to 9 only. Okay, so here you are trying to insert, okay, at the index 10, but there is no index, okay, 10 here. So syntactically it is correct. Okay, syntactically it is correct, but whenever you are trying to insert this value, okay, into at the index 10, there is no index, no, so only 0 to 9, okay, will be accepted in this array. Okay, so whenever, okay, this value is going to store in this index at a runtime, not at compile time. Okay, this initialization done at runtime, so that's why, okay, so exception raised at runtime. Okay, in this case. Okay, in second case, okay, int a is equal to 10, b is equal to 0, so int c is equal to a by b. Okay, here you are going to perform division operation, okay, by 0. Okay, so at compile time, okay, syntactically it is correct, but at runtime, okay, so this is going to divide, okay, a is going to divide by b, so here b value is 0. No, so now here, okay, at runtime, okay, whenever, okay, this statement is executed, okay, it will raise an exception like arithmetic exception : divide by 0, like that. Okay, and now fourth option. Okay, so here without main method also you are able to, okay, write a program, but if you want to execute, okay, your program, okay, then main method is required, because starting execution block of every Java program is main. Okay, see here, for example, here void show, okay, void show sys out, okay, hi, okay, hi, just hi, I want to print. Okay, so public void show. Now if you try to run this program, see, okay, please define the main method as public static void main. So there is no compile time error. Okay, there is no compile time error. But whenever you try to execute your program, okay, without main method, okay, without main method, then it will raise, okay, this exception. Okay, so here, okay, so if you want to use this show method in another class which is having a main method, is possible. Okay, for example, okay, define another class like test and use this example class, create an object of example in test class and call this method, then it will execute. Okay, but test class should have the main method. Okay, test class should have the main method. So whatever the class you want to execute, okay, that should have main method, because starting execution block of every Java program is the main method. So without main method, if you want to run your program, okay, you not able to execute the program without main method. Okay, so this is another case. Okay, so these are example cases, not only exactly in these cases, okay, exception raised. Okay, so we are not telling that only in these cases, okay, exception raised. Okay, we have a lot of cases. Okay, so those causes to raise an exception at runtime. Okay, so these are the some example cases. Okay, so exception raised. Okay, so is it clear for everyone? If not, please anybody respond. It's clear. Hello. Anybody, please respond.
Yeah, Anand, you can continue.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. See here. Which among the classes, okay, is the top level class in exception hierarchy? Throwable, error, exception, runtime exception. Which is the top level class in the exception hierarchy?
Class.
Anybody?
Trouble class.
Yeah, throwable is the, okay, top level class in the exception hierarchy. Now here, what are the subclasses, direct subclasses of the throwable class? Here, okay, throwable is a top level, okay, class in the exception hierarchy. Now I'm asking, what are the direct subclasses of the, okay, throwable class? Direct subclasses means the classes which are extended from the throwable class.
Error and exception.
Yeah, error and exception. No, error and exceptions are, these two are the direct subclasses of the, okay, throwable class. Okay. Okay. Now see here, that's why I'm asking. Okay, so which among the following classes is a direct subclasses of the, okay, throwable class? Okay, so here error and exception. Okay, these two are the, okay, direct subclasses of the throwable class. Okay, yeah. Now see here, next one, which among the following exceptions is not handled by our code? Yeah. See here, first one is array index out of bounds exception. Okay, second one, string index out of bounds exception, stack overflow error, and null pointer exception. So array index out of bounds exception, whenever it is raised, when it raised. So in first question, we have first option. No, so we declared an array with size 10, and you are trying to insert, you are trying to store a value, okay, out, trying to store a value at the index 10. Okay, so it is out of its range now. So actually its range is 0 to 9. Okay, you are trying to insert at the index 10, then it will raise array index out of bounds exception. Next, second one, string index out of bounds exception. So when it is raised, for example, I have one string. Okay, see here. I have one string. So like this, string name is equal to Java. Okay, name is equal to Java. Now I want to get a character. Okay, I want to get a character from string name based on its index. Okay, sorry, name. So here name dot char it. Okay, caret of 0. What it will return? Name dot caret of 0.
J.
J it will return. No. So now 3. What it will return? What it will return?
B.
A.
A it will return. No. Now I'm giving 5. What happened? What happened now? Okay, string index out of bounds exception is raised at this time because here string length is okay 4. Its index is length minus 4, maximum index. Okay, index starts from 0, ends with its length minus 1. Means here length is 4 and its maximum index is 3, length minus 1. Okay, here you are okay. You want to get a character, okay, from the string name. Okay, so here you are giving okay a index value out of its range. Okay, its range is 0 to 3 only. Okay, 0 to 3 only. So now whenever you are trying to get a character from the okay from the string, okay, so here you are going to give an index. No, so this index should be its range. Okay, it's in its range. Okay, 0 to 3 only. Okay, so whenever you exit this range, okay, it will generate string index out of bounds exception. Okay, this is second case. Next, stack overflow error. Okay, and next one is null pointer exception. See here, first tell me which is the correct answer. Okay, then I will discuss one by one. Which among the following exceptions is not handled by our program code? Means we are not able to handle the type of exception. Here array index out of bounds exception, string index out of bounds exception, stack overflow error. This is also exception. Okay, so here error is there. No, okay, don't think that this is not an exception. Okay, this is also exception. Anybody? Okay, see here, actually this array index out of bounds exception, string index out of bounds exception, and a null pointer exception, all these exceptions we are able to handle in our code. But here stack overflow exception, okay, we are not able to handle because so in JVM we have okay, we have stack area. Okay, stack area means somewhat we call it as a memory area. Okay, so stack one memory area is there, so that is stack. Okay, so whenever okay it has some fixed size memory in stack. Okay, we are going to store activation records on the stack. Okay, so whenever okay, so this stack limit is exceed, then stack overflow error is sorry exception is occurred at a runtime. Okay, so we are not able to handle this stack overflow error. Okay, so this is we are not able to handle this exception. Okay, so only these exceptions we can handle in our code. Okay, so whenever okay stack okay, so memory is exceeded. Okay, exceeded, then stack overflow error is occurred. Okay, so I will show you one example for stack overflow. Okay, see here, public void show. Here I'm going to define the main method. Okay, so here I'm going to create an example, create an object for example class. Obj is equal to new example of and I'm going to call obj.show. Okay, now hi. So after this, I'm going to call this show method recursively. Okay, recursively you are calling this show method. Okay, now try to execute this program. See here, you called your show method recursively. Okay, recursively. Now it will execute this method, okay, until stack, okay, stack memory is exceed. Okay, sorry, see here. Oh, yeah, see here, stack overflow error. So whenever you write this kind of code, okay, this kind of code, okay, so this recursive call, okay, we are not able to do anything. Okay, so your JVM is going to execute your program until your, okay, stack memory is exceeded. Okay, so whenever its memory is exceeded, then it is going to throw an error, okay, like this, okay, stack overflow error. So these type of exceptions we are not able to handle. Okay, okay, any doubts on this? Yeah.
Can you give example of null pointer exception?
Null pointer exception. Okay, okay. So we have one question on this null pointer exception. Okay, in AQ only. So we'll discuss later. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one question on null pointer exception. Okay. Yeah. Now, which among the following exceptions is not detected by the compiler at compile time?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in earlier problem, the remaining 3 exceptions, those are runtime exceptions.
Yeah, all are runtime only. But these are, we are able to handle these exceptions in our code. But stack overflow, we can't do anything. Okay. So that is
handled by JVM, correct?
Yeah, JVM.
Virtual machine. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. If you don't handle these type of exceptions also, these are also able to handle by the JVM. If you not, yeah, write the code. Okay. But these type of exceptions particularly handled by the JVM only. Okay. We can't do
Yes.
anything. Okay.
Sir, may I say something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you scroll above a little bit? Yeah. So yeah, see that this stack overflow is an error. It's not an exception, so to say. Yeah, obviously it derives from the exception class. That is okay. But if you see the error, na, then it is actually not an exception. So all kinds of error you should not catch. I mean, you first of all you should not catch, and then it comes whether you want. I mean, you can or cannot. That is a separate question. But you should never try to catch an error. Error is something else. All you do is you work with the exceptions only. Okay, so yeah, Anand sir, did you show them the hierarchy, or okay, you can do that later also. I mean that exception hierarchy. I think that would be better.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. You can continue.
Which among the following exceptions is not detected by the compiler at compile time? See here, actually, we have two types of exceptions. Okay, so one is checked exception and the second one is unchecked exception. Okay, so checked exception, okay, so identified by the compiler at compile time. Okay, whereas coming to unchecked exception, okay, unchecked exception not identified by the compiler at compile time. Okay, so here only checked exceptions are detected by the compiler at compile time. Okay, so here I'm asking, okay, which of the following exceptions, okay, so not detected by the compiler at compile time, means I'm asking which is the unchecked exception. Unchecked exception.
Arithmetic exception.
Okay, arithmetic exception is the is not detected by the compiler at compile time, and remaining all exceptions, okay, detected by the compiler at compile time only. Okay, so see here, for example, okay, for example, so I want to load particular class by using class.forName. So already you have seen this type of syntax. Okay, for example, uh, okay, employee dot class. See here, okay, while loading this class using class.forName, okay, so here employee dot class is there now. Okay, so here we are going to load this class by using class.forName. So now there may be a chance of getting, okay, so class not found exception here. Okay, so this is identified by the compiler at compile time only. Okay, so this is called checked exception. Okay, so checked exception has two rules. Either you can throw at method signature using throws keyword, or you can handle it by using try catch. Okay, see here it will ask to, okay, so add throws declaration or surround with try catch. Okay, so see here, add throws declaration means it will add, okay, at the method signature, okay, this exception. Okay, throws class not found exception. Okay, like this you can handle this exception, or otherwise you can surround it with try catch like this. Okay, so these exceptions, okay, detected by the compiler at compile time. Okay, so this is class not found exception. And next one, a file not found. No, for example, files still not discussed. No, so just file reader is equal to new file reader of. Okay, so here I want to read a file on the .txt. See here, whenever you want to open a file, okay, so there may be a chance of getting, okay, file not found exception. Okay, so this is identified by the, okay, compiler compile time, file not found exception. Okay, you should, okay, throw this exception, or you can handle, okay, in your code by using try catch. Okay, this is called checked exception. Okay, checked exceptions are identified by the compiler at compile time only. Okay, so IO exception is also same, and interrupted exception is also same. Okay, so all these are checked exceptions, okay, detected by the compiler at compile time only. Okay, so arithmetic exception not like that. Okay,
Sir, what is there in IO exception? It is related with input output devices, or
yeah, actually these are in particular situations, these will be raised while dealing with files. These type of exception may raised. Okay, interrupted exception we can see in the threads.
yes, sir.
Okay, whenever we want to interrupt a thread, or like whenever you want to interrupt a thread by using sleep method, then it will raise, there may be a chance of getting this interrupted exception. Okay, these are different cases. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so all these exceptions identified by the compile time only. Okay, so your compiler is going to ask, okay, whether you want to throw or you want to handle by using try catch. Okay, it will ask. Okay, but arithmetic exception, okay, no need to handle. Okay, if you want to handle, you can handle. Okay, so but it is not detected by the compiler. That's it. Okay, yeah. Next.
Sir, one thing I want to ask here. Can we say that checked exception is that nothing but the compile time exception?
Oh, compile time exception. I
There
don't
is
know,
a
but
exception. There is a two type of exception. One is the checked. One is the unchecked.
yeah.
So can we say that checked is exception is nothing but the compile time exception?
I think we can't do that because even checked exception is checked in runtime, not compile time. Like the compiler just throws an error that it is not being handled. That's all for checked.
No, so error is the different thing. One is the error, which is the always happen on the compile time, like the stack overflow, virtual machine error, and the out memory error. So whenever we come on the other part, exception. So I have some question I will ask later, like that. What is the difference between compile time error and the compile time exception? And in general, how to and other question was there. Can we handle the compile time exception? And actually, what is the use of the compile time exception? Idea is clear about that runtime exception, because in generally in many programming always we handle the runtime exception, like the arithmetic null pointer exception, or the string out of the bound, or the index out of the bound. We know the how to handle, but the something is new, that how to handle can we handle the compile time exception also?
Compile time exception. Did not hear the term like a compile time exception or runtime exception. Actually, exception is a runtime error. Okay, it will generate, even you detected at compile time by the compiler, it will rise at runtime only. Okay, your compiler is suggesting that you should throw it, or you can handle it by using try catch. That's it. But your compiler is identifying at compile time. That's it. But it is not rising it now. It will rise at runtime only, even it is checked or unchecked. Doesn't matter. But it will rise at runtime only.
So it's the theoretically thing is that it is the checked exception or it is unchecked, but the thing will raise on the runtime only.
Yes, yes.
So in that case, we can handle that error, both exception, either it is checked or the unchecked.
Can you repeat once?
Since it is the raising the error in the runtime,
yeah.
So we can handle that particular error using the catch or the something in the runtime. So we can avoid that particular error, either it is the checked or the unchecked.
Yeah. So see here, if you declare a exception at method signature, okay, using throws keyword, okay, that will take care by the JVM. Okay, so if you surrounded it with a try catch block, then we are going to handle it.
Okay, so the question is then we can even the IO exception without throwing using try and catch we can handle. I'm not going to throw as the signature in the method body like that throws IO exception. I'm not writing that. So I'm simply writing in the try and catch. So can we handle the IO exception or SQL exception or class not found exception, all these three exceptions in the only try and catch? Because
yeah,
this
yeah.
So Kumar, as you can see, this arithmetic exception, it is clear during compile time, right? Where there is a division by 0, it is clear that, and even when there is an array out of bound exception, you can see very clearly during compile time whether it is, okay, of course, you can't see that array out of bound, you can't, it will almost always be generated during runtime because you don't know the size of the array, right? So, but arithmetic exception, if there is a division by 0, you can clearly say there is an arithmetic exception, right? So as Anand was saying, like even though these we call them compile time exceptions, these are actually, if you can actually, when you do the Java, say you will not see it as an exception, but when you do the Java, that's when you see these exceptions thrown, right? Even the arithmetic exception. But what is raising that exception is whether what says whether it is a compile time exception or a runtime exception. If it's a compiler that is raising it, it's a compile time exception. If it's the JVM that is raising it, it is a runtime exception. This is my understanding.
Okay, ma'am. So whenever we write in general the program, so we care about the program to be run efficiently. So at the end, we are going to handle the particular error. So what if we find that something like that checked error? and the checked exception, not error. So how to handle this? Either it is compile time or the runtime. So we can use.
Yeah, see, for instance, if you put this class C equal to class.4 name, right? If you place that statement without putting the try catch block, the compiler will tell you, okay, you have to put this inside the try block. Okay, so the programmer has to anticipate in many cases, but certain times the compiler will also tell you. See, because the class.4 name is actually throwing what is known as a checked exception. So because of that, you are supposed to put it inside a try catch block. And if that is the case, it will actually give you an indication, like during compile time, it will tell you, okay, you have to put this inside the try catch block. But certain times, we have to anticipate. As a programmer, we have to anticipate. When you are putting something inside the array and you are trying to allocate something to array, you assume that there is a possibility that it can go beyond the array out of bounds. It's always better to put it inside. So you know that the hierarchy, right? On top, you have exception, and then you have arithmetic exception, you have array out of bounds exception. So if you do not know which exception is going to happen, see, suppose you have both statements inside the try catch block, say inside the try block, if you say both statements, something which can possibly lead to a division by 0, or something where you can allocate or you will be inserting some data to inserting a data inside an array, which is like going beyond the length of the array. If you're going to get both of those, then you don't know which exception, right? So if you know that if you're not sure which exception, you can just put it inside the catch exception E, it will handle it and it will print you the exact exception. But if you know that I'm going to get the specific exception, then it is always better to put it inside the specific exception. So when should you put it in try catch block? It is more of a programmer has to anticipate, or in many cases, like when there is a checked exception, the compiler itself will tell you, okay, you have to put this inside. You just try writing the class.4 name statement, no? Class equal to class.4 name inside the program without a try catch block. It will give you some error. If you put it inside the try block, it will go up. That error will go up. So I'm not able to clearly tell you like whether, okay, of course, the difference.
Yeah, ma'am, should I say something about it?
Yeah, Bhaskar.
Yeah, see, Kumar, so let's understand it, from the very basic. See, first of all, the point number 1 is there is no difference between a checked and unchecked exception once you execute the program. So once it is running, no one can tell, not the JVM, not the compiler, no one can tell that whether it is a checked exception or whether it is an unchecked exception. So there is no difference. But please do not confuse exceptions with errors. Errors are something totally different. Okay, so the throwable hierarchy, in that we get exception on left, one exception and one error, right? Errors are something else. Okay, so let's keep error out of the discussion. Only we are discussing about exceptions. Okay, yes. These errors are not compile time errors. Again, do not confuse this error under the throwable class as the compile time error. Compile time errors are something else. Now that is a totally different aspect. So let's keep that also out of question. Okay. So compile time error went out. Throwable class error, this stack overflow error, virtual machine error, all these error went out. Now we are left with exception. Now coming to exception, there are two parts. One is checked exception, one is unchecked exception. Point number 1, there is no difference between both of them in the runtime. Then why is this segregation? Why we are segregating between checked exception and unchecked exception? Yes. The idea is, the thing is, let's take some example of unchecked exception. So arithmetic exception where you divide by 0, that is an unchecked exception, right? If you get a not a number, NaN value, that is an unchecked exception. If you get a null pointer exception, that is an unchecked exception. If you get an array index out of bound, that is also a unchecked exception. Now let's take one example. Division by 0. So suppose you are fetching some data, fine, and on the basis of that data, you are dividing that fetch data. You are putting that fetch data into the denominator of something. Okay. Now dynamically, whatever value your program is working on, which is totally dynamic data, right? We do not hard code the data. Data would be random. The program is working on that data. Now, depending upon whatever data you have, the denominator will change. You are just putting the fetched data into a variable and using that variable to put inside the denominator and making a fraction. So at the dynamic time, at runtime, if the data is 0 by any chance, then you will get an exception. So can you decide that what will be the data at compile time? You cannot decide, right? The objects will be created at runtime, and then only when the constructor would be called, then we are passing some values, and that value would be only decided at runtime. It cannot be decided at compile time. Okay, so that's why these kind of errors, null pointer exception. Suppose you are fetching an object from an array list. Okay, you are fetching an object from the array list. Now you are searching it using suppose some ID or whatever, maybe a hash map. Hash map is a better example. So you are fetching a value with respect to a particular ID in a hash map with a particular key, I mean. So suppose there is no key at all with that particular name with which you are searching. So it will return null. And then when you are trying to get the object and call another function for that object, you are calling null.object call. Right? Sorry, function call, null.function call. So that would give you a null pointer exception. So if you get a proper object with respect to the key that you are searching in the hash map, then that particular object's instance function would be called. No issues. So whether it would be null or not, whether it would be 0 or not, whether the index is going out of bound or not, which is dependent on user input, or I mean the data of the program. So these kind of values you cannot anticipate at the compile time what will happen. For some data it will work, for some data it will not work. That's why the compiler does not makes it a mandate to describe that your function will throw such an exception, because you as a programmer also don't know what is the data and is there any exception on that or not. Okay, so that's why these are unchecked exception. You do not have to mention it because of the reason that you may not know at all. And it will be handled at runtime by Java, the machine, JVM machine. It will handle it and then it will solve it. But by any chance, if you know that this kind of exception will be thrown by your function, then you can define a try catch block to handle even unchecked exception. That also is there. But it's not a mandate to do that. Right? Now coming to the other point, which is checked exception. Checked exception are something which will not happen directly because of data. So let's take the example that Anand sir showed you, class not found. Do you think class not found is dependent on data? It's not dependent on data or user input. It's because you have not defined a class as a programmer which you are trying to use, right? Something like that. So the SQL exception, right? These connection issues can be there. Thread exception, the interrupted IO exception. This kind of exception is mainly occurring because of some programmatic thing that you are doing wrong. Okay, and that's why the compiler is able to detect these types of error, and not error, I should say exception only. This kind of rather problem. Yeah, the compiler is able to determine these kind of problems which are independent of any user input or any runtime data or configuration. And that's why it is able to understand that you have not defined this exception, how to handle it. I know as a programmer, you also must, I means the compiler. The compiler knows that you are trying to use a class or trying to call a thread which may not be in its proper position, right? But therefore you as a programmer should also know, because this class is not there, you have not defined it, so it may throw such an exception and you must define a way to handle it. That's why the compiler gives you error. So even if you define a custom exception, we will go in this chapter, we will see what are custom exceptions, how you can define one. So custom exceptions are also checked exception. You have to tell that my function can throw an exception and how to handle it. Okay, so these kind of thing which the compiler can figure out, and you as a programmer should also figure out that this is something related to the programmatic error that I am doing, not error again, not the error. I would not use the term error. I mean the programmatic problems that I am doing. Because of that, something can happen. That's where you have to use the checked exception. That's where the checked exceptions are defined, and you have to explicitly tell that your function throws such an exception. Okay, so that is the idea of unchecked and checked exception. Now that the question that you asked about throws and try catch, the main idea is, suppose let's again go to a practical standpoint. When you are working in an industry, suppose a method is there which has been pre-implemented. Fine, a method is there which is pre-implemented. You only know what it takes input and what it gives the output. Input output you know. Fine. Yes. Now you as a new programmer, you have to use that function to make something. Use it in another module that you are making. Fine. Now you know also that this particular function throws a particular kind of exception that is also given to you in the documentation. Okay. Now depending upon the use case or module that you are making, and where in that module where you are using that function, you may handle the same exception in multiple scenarios. In multiple ways. Suppose it is a singleton exception. You have defined something that you cannot create more than one object. So there can be two possible ways. If such an exception is raised, then either you can I mean, put the value as null in the reference variable, or you can put it to be the same as that of the original object which is there, the single object. So there are two possible ways of dealing with the problem. Likewise, in all the use cases on whatever module you are making or using that particular function which throws a particular exception, you want to handle that exception in different ways depending upon the use case. That's where you can use the try catch block. You can catch that particular exception and then handle it in different ways. But if you put directly try catch in the function definition itself, then it would not be thrown. It would be handled inside that function only. So you are reserved with only one particular way of handling the exception. So whoever wrote that method, if he would have put the exception generation inside the try catch block, then you as a user will never get that exception. Not user means you as a, I mean, module creator where you are using that function. So you will never get that exception, and you cannot handle that exception on your own way. The way that it has been implemented inside that function using the try catch block will only be there. But if you want to implement it, I mean, if you want to handle the exception in your own way, depending upon the use case that you are working on, then you need to have a try catch block as a user, and that programmer who has programmed that code, function should write throws on top of the function definition. I mean, function name parameter throws this exception. So he knows that I am just throwing this exception, and whoever will work with this method will make the implementation, will handle the exception in whatever way he wants. Okay, so this kind of dynamic handling, different ways of handling the same exception you can have by using the throws keyword. When we go to the programs, it would make things more clear. So the basic,
Yes.
Is it clear?
It is. Yeah, yes, it's more clear.
Okay.
Can I the one question asked? He was talking about the exception catch. No, I had one thing to ask there. Whenever we throw the catch, try catch, in that catch we use that particular function. So I'm not getting that. What's the use of the actually defining the particular exception? We can also write the exception E, and we can get everything through the exception. We don't need to say that it is arithmetic exception or index out of bound. I don't have to care anything. I can simply write the exception E, and we can handle. And there is a many method is there. I can get everything.
Yeah, Kumar, just let me ask you one thing. So let's suppose in your Java IDE, suppose the Eclipse IDE gives you the same thing as our portal gives. How will you feel?
I didn't get.
So in the portal, when you have a compilation error, what it shows? Compilation error only, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And if the same thing happens in all the IDs in the world, how will you feel? You feel terrible, right? You don't know where the error has, what is the particular error that I want to solve. I mean, you have to go through the whole code to find out what is the problem. So in a big program where you are working on multiple modules which are integrated together and then working, I mean, interconnected with each other, in such a situation, if an exception is raised, then, and if it is only the superclass exception, right? I mean, everywhere you have written exception E and printing the exception, then it would only give you the name of that exception. I mean, the proper details, you cannot handle it. See, you are using the catch block to handle a particular exception, right? Now, if you do not know as a programmer that what is the particular type of exception that is raised, then how can you handle it? Please, while coding in Java, always keep in mind all these restrictions, all these practices are discussed only because you will not be in the position to program the whole thing in a company. The part of the code would already be there, and you will only get certain part of the code where you can contribute. So if someone who has coded the main part, the core part of the code, he has not defined very specific behavior of the exceptions, right? Then you as a worker who is developing on that code will not be able to handle each particular case depending upon the use case. So if you define an exception E, then so suppose a code is there, the coder has written exception E in the catch block. Now your work is to handle that exception. You cannot see the code, you can only see the exception E. How will you know what to do? In all the position you will see exception E, exception E, exception. But if you get one place array index out of bound E, you know, okay, so that means the array is getting out of bound. Let's add another 4-5 elements to the array. Okay, so these kind of things will help you. Syntactically, it will not generate any error. It will catch that.
So Bhaskar, just adding one more point, it's more like customized action based on specific exception, right? if you know, like if it's going to be arithmetic expression, you want to do something specific. If you know array out of bounds, but if you do it in a general exception block, you can only print the exception name, right? System that out dot println e, right? So beyond that, I'm not sure how exactly you can go about it, but specific exceptions will help you take specific actions for separate occasions, separate cases.
Then, ma'am, I want to point one point here in the through lecture. Whenever the sir used the multiple catch, but even they use the multiple catch, but at the same time when we was running the program, we was handle one catch only at a time, because one suppose the two catch for the one try there was a two catch. One catch was that index out of bound, other was that arithmetic expression. So doesn't matter how many multiple catch we are using, but at the end it is executing only once, because whatever the in the try, whatever the first time error is executed, it will fetch that catch only.
But Kumar, you are not going to run the program for just once, no? You're going to run the program for years possibly. So one day you may get an arithmetic exception, the next day you may get an array out of bounds exception. So
yes,
one particular run of the code, you will get one exception. That is for sure. Then it kind of comes out of that, right? It doesn't go to the next exception. But the next run of the program, you might get a different exception. But your code must be able to handle that. You cannot change the code the next day, right?
Okay. Okay, next time
Got
we
it,
will
no?
go. So yes, I got that. Then here the one catch also will be give the same thing. If I do that catch and the exception e, and we will get, because it will also say that which type of exception happening. So we can do also according to
Yeah, Kumar, see what happens. So let's say you are making an, let's give you a proper example. You have a hash map, right? In there a key is there and value is there. So you are taking a particular value for a particular key, and then you are putting dividing that value. I mean, whatever you are fetching from the hash map, you are dividing it. I mean, you are using that as a denominator, the fetched value. Now there can be two possible, and then whatever you are getting, you are calling. You are also calling the value dot function. Suppose one function call you are doing. So there can be two possible scenarios. First of all, you can get a null pointer exception because the hash map does not contain the particular key that you are looking for. I mean, any value with respect to that key. Second thing is, if that value is 0, then you will get an arithmetic exception because you are dividing it. I mean, you are putting it in denominator. Two possible scenarios. Now let's take, you have defined in the catch block exception E. How will you handle it? So let's in one situation it can have a null pointer exception, in another situation it can have 0. How will you handle it in the same exception E block? It will catch all the exceptions. You don't know what particular exception has occurred.
Okay, got it.
Okay, I had to give you the idea of a programming assignment, but okay.
I got it completely, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because that in general, whatever we do in general, in the catch we generally avoid. We simply display, we avoid. We don't take most of time action.
Yeah.
So it is important whenever we need to take some action, that time
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I told now. While you are programming, you need to handle it. Handling in our course, we are mainly printing it or something because that's how we have to test it. But in real life, you will handle it. Otherwise, if you are printing, then what was the fault with normal compilation error? He is also printing it. The idea of exception is if something comes in runtime, I will be able to handle it in that go on. So if there is a null pointer exception, ideally what you should do, you should add a particular value in the hash map and then again call that function in that catch block.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
It's completely clear.
Yeah, Anand sir, please continue. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. This question, sixth question. Okay, which among the following exceptions is detected by the compiler at compile time? Yeah, you can easily answer this question now. So all these are swing index out of bounds exception, array index out of bounds exception, null pointer exception, number format exception. All these are okay, not identified or detected by the compiler. Okay, so already we have seen here. Okay, not detected means okay. So here all these are detected by the compile time only. So here class not found exception is detected by the compiler at compile time only. Okay, so all these are not detected by the compiler at compile time. Okay, next okay, Now 7.2. Yeah. See this code. Okay. Now you tell me what is the answer for this question, which is the correct option. Okay. So here
Terminates due to unhandled exception.
Yeah, terminates due to unhandled exception. Why? Already we have written try and catch, no?
Because the error is arithmetic error, but what we are handling is array index out of bounds exception.
Yeah. So here, okay, whenever you try to perform this operation, int c is equal to a by b. Okay, here arithmetic exception is okay raised. No. So now, okay, immediately your control come out from the try block and it is going to search for the corresponding catch block. Okay, so here exception is arithmetic exception. Okay, now your control will search for the corresponding catch block. Okay, so here there is no corresponding catch block for arithmetic exception. No, so now your program gets terminated due to unhandled exception. Okay, here your return this catch block to handle the array index out of bounds exception. Okay, but here arithmetic exception is rising. No, okay, now this catch block not able to handle this arithmetic exception. Now your program gets terminated due to unhandled exception. So this is the correct answer. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Next. Yeah. Which among the following blocks contain error prone code? Error prone code. Try, catch, finally, all of the above.
Try, sir.
Try, no? So see here, in the above program, see here, so here you not, put this int a is equal to 10, b is equal to 0 in a try block, no problem. But whenever you are trying to perform the division operation, so this is definitely a error prone code, because if denominator is 0, definitely there may be a chance of getting arithmetic exception. No, so this is what error prone code in your program. So this is not error prone code. So if you initialize a b value with 0, it is not error prone. Whenever you want to perform division operation with b, then it become error prone. No, now this type of code you should put in a try block, error prone code. So for example, sir, I don't know where the error prone code, I am not able to find error prone code in my program, sir. Then how? You can put all this code in a try block, no problem. So if you are able to find error prone code, you can put it in try block. If you're not able to find error prone code in your program, you can put all your code in a try block. No problem. Is it clear? You can also put this int a is equal to 10, b is equal to 0 in a try block, no problem. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Anand, you can go ahead.
Yeah. See here, which of the following construct should be declared with a method signature to declare exception? Yeah. See here, already we discussed I already discussed about checked exceptions. No, so checked exceptions has two rules. Either you have to declare at the method signature, or you can handle it by using try catch. So how to declare exceptions? By using which keyword? Try, catch, throw, throws. Which keyword?
Throws.
Throws, no, already we have seen in previous questions. No, I explained. So here throws keyword. So is used to declare the exceptions at method signature. So basically, checked exceptions we declared at the method signature. Okay, if you want to handle, you can handle by using try catch block, or otherwise you can throws it at the method signature. Next, which among the following blocks is used to throw an exception explicitly? Explicitly.
That's true.
Throw keyword.
Throw keyword, no? Okay, so throw keyword. Okay, so throws your exception explicitly. So then what is the difference between throw and throws?
Throws comes
Yes.
as a signature in the signature body can
Yeah,
be, but throw comes whenever the inside body we throw something. So.
Yeah, okay. Here, throw, okay, throw keyword throws, okay, throws exception object, not exception class. Okay, throws keyword, okay, what it throws? It throws the exception class. And by using throws keyword, you can, okay, you can throw any number of exceptions. You can throw any number of exception at the method signature. But by using throw keyword, you are able to throw only one exception object. You are not able to throw more than one exception object. No, so you can declare exceptions, okay, at method signature by using throws keyword. Okay, in your method body, if you want to throw an exception explicitly, then use throw keyword. Okay, throw keyword. By using throw keyword, you are able to throw only one exception, one exception object. But by using throws keyword, you are able to throw any number of exception classes. Okay, is it clear? For example, so see here, class dot for name. Okay, so here Anand dot class. Okay, so it is asking to throws. Okay, throws declaration. Okay, class not found exception. No, so now here file reader. Okay, reader is equal to new file reader of. Okay, so this is also generate check. Sorry, this is also identified by the compiler. Okay, sorry, here we should keep file name. So anand.txt. Okay, so yeah, add throws declaration. See here, it is added to this. Okay, throws declaration. So like this, you can, okay, throw any number of exceptions at the method signature by using throws keyword. But by using throw keyword, you are able to, okay, throw only one exception object explicitly. Okay, not more than one exception. Okay, you are not able to throw by using the throw keyword explicitly. Is it clear?
Excuse me, sir. But by using throw, we will be using only one exception. No? Then what is the use of having multiple classes stored there using throws? That class images.
Can you repeat once?
The same program. Will you please show the program?
Yeah.
So here, using throws keyword, we are using two classes exception: class not found,
yeah,
and the file not found. But next in the program, we will be using only one class object, correct? Throw. Using throw keyword, I will be able to use only one object over there.
Yeah, only one object can be, okay, throw, you are able to throw only one exception object by using throw.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it will be either for the class not found exception or it will be either for the file not found exception.
No,
right?
no.
Then
so that is different case. Okay, so you are throwing an exception, okay, explicitly. Okay, so that is different case. Whenever you want to throw an exception explicitly, then okay, you use throw keyword. Okay. Yeah, you should use throw that but whatever the exception you want to, okay, raise okay explicitly, then use throw keyword. In particular what we call in particular condition. Okay, so basically this throw keyword is used to throw the what we call user defined exception. Actually user defined exceptions, okay, not raised, okay, explicitly, okay, those are not identified by the compiler or not okay, raised by the JVM. So we have to raise that checked user defined exceptions, okay, whenever you want to raise your user defined exception, then you can throw that exception explicitly by using throw keyword.
Yes, sir. Now it's clear. Got it, sir.
Anand, do you want to give an example? Do you have something handy?
Yeah, I will give them later after completion of this. I will discuss.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay, see here, which among the following classes should be extended to create user defined exception classes? See here, so whenever you want to create your own exception class, okay, you are able to create your own exception class also. Okay, so whenever you want to, okay, create your own exception class, then you should, okay, you can create, okay, one exception class and you should extend it from exception class. Okay, you should extend it from exception class by using runtime exception. By extending runtime exception also you are able to, by extending, for example, see here, so class my exception is there, no, my exception, this is my user defined exception. Okay, this is my user defined exception. Okay, so now I want to, okay, so I want to make this my exception class as my own exception, then you should extend, okay, extend it from exception class. Okay, exception class, then only your, okay, your my exception class become a user defined exception, means it gets the capabilities of this exception class. Okay, you can also, okay, you can also, okay, extend it from runtime exception also, but it is not recommended. Okay, it is not recommended. Okay, so it's a your user defined exception class should be extended from the exception class. Okay, I will discuss about user defined exception later. Okay, now only I will discuss, so after completion of this okay, discussion. Okay, so whenever you want to, okay, create user defined exception like this, so my exception is there, my user defined exception. Okay, now this exception, whenever you want to raise explicitly, then you use throw keyword. Okay, then you use throw keyword to raise this exception explicitly, because this is not unknown to the compiler and JVM also. Okay, you should raise this exception explicitly whenever you want to raise it. Okay, yeah, next, sixth question. See here, yeah, see the code. Try int a is equal to 10/0. Finally, okay, in finally block I return, okay, hello exception, and I return catch block here. Yeah, what is the output? If you try to execute this program, whether it is, okay, generate a compile time error, or whether it is generate output like hello exception, or whether it is terminated abnormally, or no output will be printed. What is the
Sir,
correct?
I think it would be a compilation error, because the try, catch, and finally should be in the correct order. Otherwise, it will generate compilation.
Okay, yeah, whatever you said, that is correct. Okay, so you should write try block first, and try can be, okay, associated with either catch or finally. Okay, so without catch block, for example, okay, assume there is no catch block. Okay, there is no catch block in this program. Okay, try, you return, and corresponding catch block, there is no corresponding catch block, directly you return finally block. Will it give any error? Will it give any error? Anybody?
I think, sir, to use the catch, we must use the try. But if we are using try, not necessarily we can use the catch, so it can go on the finally. If
Yeah. So see here. So if you want to write finally, okay, if you want to write finally, so you can write after the catch block. If you have catch block in your program, okay, associated with the try block, okay, you should write finally after the catch block. So here, if you have only try block, there is no corresponding catch block, then you can write finally after the try block, no problem. But you should not write, okay, you should not write finally in between, okay, try and catch block. Try and catch block. Okay. So if you try to write, okay, like this, it will generate compile time error. Okay, is it clear?
yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to ask one question here. Yeah, for example, okay, for example, so here finally is there, no? Okay, finally I written after the catch block. Then
Then it will print exception and then print final.
yeah, correct. Okay. Okay, now see here I written nested try catch. Okay, so this is outer try block, this is outer catch block. So this catch block is associated with this try. Okay, and here this catch block is associated with this try block. So this is one combination of try catch block, and this is another combination of try catch block. So this try block internally contain, okay, nested try catch. Now you tell me, if you try to, okay, run this program, what happened?
It should print denominator should not be 0.
Should not be 0. Then what about this code?
Actually, it is that simple, because that whatever in the try, whatever the first encounter happened to the error, we just go to the catch of that. So once it go on the catch, there is no way to come back. So it will go after the catch and the further to that. So it will terminate it from the try from the int equal to 10 by 0, and it will jump on the catch. So its try in nested try is not going to even execute.
Yeah, exactly. So here, so what happened? So here at okay, at this line, okay, at this line int a is equal to 10 by 0, no? So here immediately, okay, so exception is raised at this line. So which exception? Arithmetic exception. So immediately your control will come out from the try block and it is searching for the corresponding catch block. Okay, so here we have, okay, corresponding catch block with the arithmetic exception. Okay, so now, okay, so whatever the catch block, okay, corresponding catch block is there, so that is going to be executed. So now it is going to print denominator should not be 0 as output. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. See here, so which is the correct answer, correct option? First one, second one, third one. This one, no?
C.
Yeah.
Then what is the use of putting such a nested try catch block if the outer try catch block is already there?
Here you are asking.
Yes, in the outer try block, if at all it is going to throw any exception, then it is not going. I mean, the inner try catch block is not going to enter at any of the exception when the outer try is throwing any exception. So what is the use of
Okay.
designing
For
such kind of
example,
code, a nested
for
try block.
example, okay. So for example, whenever this operation is success, then only I want to execute this part of the code. That is
Yes,
my
that I
restriction.
understand. That is
Yeah,
I
that is my
understand.
restriction. Okay. For
So
example, I
Bimlesh,
want.
yeah, Anand, I'll just interrupt. So Bimlesh, see, in this code, possibly the inside try cache block, no, that may be something like an unreachable code because it's hard coded by 10 by 0 and it comes to the outside cache and the inside code is never accessed, right? But suppose you had something like int a equal to b by c, where c is likely to be a 0 at some point, then you catch it outside. Okay. Now, what happens if you want to do something like you do this and then inside the nested try, you want to execute something. And even if there is an exception there, you want to come out and that is caught, that message is printed, but you want to continue with the execution, right? Outside the try catch, you can actually write between the two closing braces just after the system.out.println, please check the array index, right? In between those, you can actually write some code and that will get executed. Is that clear?
No, that I understand, ma'am. The
Yeah.
thing is, we are doing nested try catch block over here. Now, the nested one will inner one will only be executed if the outer is successful execution. So we have to write such kind of code so that if at all we want, if at all our code is dependent on the inner try catch block execution, then there's no need for outer try catch block going. I mean, getting
Yeah,
into any kind of exception.
should I say something? See, the thing is, if in the catch block inside the inner try catch block, so as I said to Kumar, right? Sorry. So here what we are
I mean,
doing is,
what I wanted to ask, if
I know.
it,
Let me just ask.
if there is something critical in the inner try catch
Yeah.
block, then there is no need to design such kind of nested thing.
No. See, yeah, I got it. See, the issue is here we are only using system.out.println exception e or something message, something like that. But the idea of exception is we are making a catch block so as to handle the exception. That is, you will write some code inside the catch block to do something, maybe defining an array or whatever, to not just printing. So what happens if inside that catch block where you are handling that exception and writing some lines of code, there is another exception generated in those lines? Getting what I'm saying? So in the catch block, wherever you are handling the exception raised inside the inner try block, you are writing some code to handle that exception. While in the process of handling that exception, the lines of code that you have written inside the inner catch block itself generates another exception because of some reason. Okay. So that's why you need an outer try catch system like this. Okay. Now, does that make sense?
Yeah, it's clear. But his question is that why should I do that? I mean, if outer is not correctly executed, then inner try catch is not required. That is his question. So
So
actually,
particularly to this question, it is. I mean, it's just
for this
No,
particular,
everything discussed so far, I understood clearly. My only thing is that if we are designing a code in such a fashion so that and our operation is critical to something which is executed in the inner try except
no, in real life
catch
example,
block, and that is not being accessed because of outer try catch block throwing an exception, then the execute. I mean, our program may not execute successfully if at all anything critical is there in the inner try catch block.
yeah, but exception will not raise every time, right? Here it is a fixed value, 10 by 0. That's why it will execute every time. But you may have to design such an application. There it is a variable, and sometimes it may come 0, sometimes it may come different values. Then this application or this type of example will be worthwhile.
So Bimlesh, that's what the first statement which I said, like int a equal to b by c, and c can take any value. Only if it becomes 0, then it comes inside the catch. If it doesn't become zero, if C is not 0, then you go inside the nested try, use the value of that A to do some processing, but you are actually allocating it to some array where the index is going out of bound. So you want to go inside this try block only if the A is not 0. Sorry, C is not 0. In that case, so if you're asking about this particular case, I'm telling you this is a bad example.
That you first enter it. Yeah, I mean, now how I understand is that putting a kind of barrier that if you are able to get through this barrier, then only you do such kind of execution.
Then only you need to go, because otherwise, what is the point? You're getting infinite, I mean, some unpredictable value in A. You can't do anything about it. Why do you even want to go? So you just want to come out of this whole thing because the value of A cannot be used anymore for the processing inside the try, the nested internal try block. So we came up with this example so that it is very easy for you to understand, right? For instance, so if you put it as B by C, then we have to keep on saying, so when C becomes 0, when C becomes 0, when C becomes 0, it goes to arithmetic exception, right? So a simple example, we've come up with this. Of course, it's not in a practical scenario, the inner block becomes unreachable.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, Anand.
Okay.
Yeah, Anand sir, can you go the question back? One point I want to ask here.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is a nested try is there. So I can, here looks like that I can replace this nested try with the sequential program also. So what we'll do if I do catch array index out of bound exception is there, I will write parallelly to the catch arithmetic exception and I remove the try. So it is the both are the same thing or the different thing?
Anand sir, you're on mute, I think.
No.
Oh, achha.
Yeah.
So what was the question? I'm sorry, Kumar, I missed the question. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. So the try is nested try is there, no?
Yeah.
So I'm removing the nested tries. Just I'm writing the sequential way.
Okay.
And whenever the nested catch is there, I will write the parallel catch to the arithmetic. So both program is the same exactly.
So what happens is if there is an exception inside the nested try, right? Suppose you want to write something inside, something just after the inside catch.
But one thing, ma'am. So I don't even it is nested try or the something error. According
Kumar,
to
see, the thing is, let me just answer this. So if you in the catch block inside the inner catch block, the inner catch block, as I was saying that when you are writing some code to handle the inner exception inside the inner catch block, inside the inner catch block only another exception is raised. In that situation, any catch block which is defined, I mean, parallelly just after that catch block will not catch that exception. So if you remove the outer catch block and copy paste it just after the inner catch block, then suppose you catch arithmetic exception in catch block, you copy paste it. Yeah,
I'm not copying the parallel to inner. I'm just copying inner catch to the outer catch. Just I'm removing the inner try catch and the whatever the code written inside the inner try.
Then what will happen when you handle it? So suppose when you are copying the inner to outer, then suppose array index out of bound exception, that catch block is raising another exception. Then what will happen?
No, so suppose that if it will happen in the first error, int a equal to 10 by 0, then it will go on the catch of the arithmetic. Suppose there is a no arithmetic error happen, then it will go the next. So next code.
So Bhaskar, Bhaskar, shall I just attempt to? Somebody, him, I think, right? Ashim said.
May I answer this question?
Yeah.
Actually, if you inner catch, if you put it to the outer catch, then you have to understand the exception very clearly. Okay, suppose arithmetic exception, it is the parent of the all exceptions. Now there are sub exceptions is there. Then when you will write it down over here, the lower exception, the parent exception will be put it in the last. Otherwise, the result will be different. Suppose array index bound exception, if it is an arithmetic related exception, then I have to put it before the arithmetic exception I mean, that catch need to be put before the arithmetic expression. Otherwise, if it is found the arithmetic expression first, then it will always execute this one.
No.
Yeah, Mr. Asim, I think Kumar has understood that point of superclass and subclass catching of exception. What I believe is he's saying
No, he is asking this catch put it to the outer try block.
Yeah.
I mean, he want to remove the inner try.
Yeah, Kumar,
Then
can you clear it? Yeah, that would be better.
Yes, sir. Actually, my point is there. I know that. So catch, whatever the catch is first or last doesn't matter. Matter only does that which error.
But for the program it does matter. For the program it does matter. You will experience.
So Kumar, let me just ask you one question. Suppose you want to execute some code between the two catch blocks.
Correct.
What will you do? Between the two catch blocks, see, there is an exception raised in the inner catch try block. Okay. But you still want to go ahead with some value, some processing with the value of A.
Can I, ma'am? Can you write this code somewhere so I can say that what actually I want to write the code? So if copy paste this code, then on the notepad I will tell that how.
No. So Kumar, let me just ask you let me just tell you. Okay, you are just saying int A equal to 10 by 0. Then your next line will be int array equal to new int of 10, array of 10 equal to 20, and then you will have one catch block and the next catch block. Is that correct? Okay, now let me ask you, you have done int A equal to 10 by 0. That does not generate any arithmetic exception. Okay, now you come inside the nested try block. Okay, after coming inside the nested try block, there is some exception raised and it is handled inside the catch array index out of bounds exception. Okay, now after the catch is done, you can actually write some code between the two closing braces.
Okay,
probably his question is different. Actually, multiple catches will be used.
So he's asking why can't he substitute the nested try catch block with series of catch blocks is what he's asking, right?
Initially his question was not the nested catch block, multiple catch block. I mean, inner side catch block will be right outside. I mean, with the single try. The inner try will be out.
So instead of inner catch block, inner or nested try catch, why can't you have just one try and then multiple catches?
Correct.
Yeah, multiple
That's
catches
correct,
is possible. Yes.
Yeah, so what happens if you want to continue with the processing? There is some exception raised inside the inner try block. Okay, then you are catching it inside, you're handling it inside the inner catch block. And you want to do something using the variable A just between the two closing braces between the system.out.println, please check the array index, and catch arithmetic exception E. Between that, you can see two closing braces, no? In between that, you want to write some code.
That we can do in the parallel also, no?
How can you do that?
Suppose that
so if it is a common catch try block and you have multiple catches, it will catch only one exception. And you cannot go, you will come out of the big try block.
And here in the nested also, it will catch only one catch, no?
No, nested, that's what I'm saying. See here, if it is inner nest is caught, you can still continue with the execution inside the outer try block, no?
Okay. So
this is my understanding. Yeah, this is my understanding.
I got it. You are telling, so just after the int A, and whenever there is a no line, I'm just telling that just after finishing the first nested try, and whenever catch is ending, I'm writing some code also there.
Using A, yeah. Because A doesn't have a problem because it does not generate any exception.
Got it.
Can you try running it? My understanding is that it will continue to run. And if some arithmetic exception happens later in that, then it will be caught in the outer catch.
Correct. So whenever we do parallel catch, that scenario will be not possible to handle.
Correct. You got it, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Anand. You can try this out, Kumar. Just let me know if it doesn't work. This is my understanding. Okay, we can come out of that. Java experts, anybody here? Please let me know if what I'm saying is wrong. So it will work is what I'm assuming, and that's the purpose of the nested try. Is my understanding. Okay.
Yes, it will work.
Okay. Yeah, Anand, carry on.
Okay. So, which among the following methods of the exception class give full details about an exception? See here. So get message method is there, and print stack trace, and get stack trace depth, and get exception name.
Print stack trace.
Yeah. So this one. Okay. So it will give full details of an exception. Okay. So see here, for example, here. Okay. Here I'm writing try block. So try. So int a is equal to 10 by 0. Okay, 10 by 0. Sys out. Okay, so sys out a. Okay, I'm printing a value. So catch. Okay, here there may be a chance of getting arithmetic exception now. So writing, for example, so I'm not writing arithmetic exception. Now I want to get full details of an exception. Okay, full details of an exception. Then we should call print stack trace method. So this print stack trace method is of exception class. Okay, so you can call it directly by using this exception class object. See here, e dot print stack trace. So here definitely, okay, there is a arithmetic exception. No, so now try to execute this. So it will give like this. Okay, so exception type. Okay, so exception name and where it is occurred at line number. Okay, at line number 11. Okay, it occurred. No, so like this it will give full details of an exception. Okay, by using print stack trace. Okay, so for suppose I want to get only exception name. So this is the exception name. No, divide by 0. We can also call string associated with this exception. See here, java.lang.arithmetic exception colon divide by 0. This is the name of the exception. So or string associated with the exception. So this is the string associated with the exception. I want to get only this. I want to get only this string associated with the exception. Then we use get message method. Okay, if you want to get full details, you can use this print stack trace. So it will give full details means where exception is raised. See here, it will give where it is raised. Okay, so only you want string associated with the exception. So then you should call get message method. See here, get message. So sys out. Yeah. So it returns string value. That's why we should print it. See here, divide by 0. So you do you want only so a string associated with the exception, then use get message method. Okay, if you want full details, okay, so exception type and string associated with the exception and a line number, then use print stack trace method. Okay, so like this, e dot print stack trace. So directly it will print.
Do you have any option for this print stack trace? I mean, I can write my own format.
Own format?
Yeah. I mean,
custom message.
Yeah. The print stack trace, right? So it is giving the message java.lang.arithmetic exception colon divided by 0, and then at the live session example main, and within bracket the line is given. So I can change the format. Is there any options?
I think I don't know, but
this is fixed, right?
Yeah. Actually, you want to change? You want to? I guess it's not that you want to give any custom message, right? You want to give something specific to this exception, no?
No. Actually, my question is that here the example Java 1 is at the end, right? I want to move it in the first. So the same message, but text will be differently representation. I mean, is there
format of displaying the exception details is you want in your own way, right?
Yeah.
I think it is predefined one, no?
Predefined.
Yeah. You have to take it into some string and change the formatting possible.
Okay. So then other function need to be used. I mean.
Yes.
So in that case, So in that case, is it not possible to have the custom message?
No, you can, but you have to use some other function, get message,
Using get message only.
text trace, yeah.
I think we can do through override of the toString method.
Sorry, please repeat. By overwriting?
By overriding the toString method. So e dot
by
toString
toString,
is the same thing, so we can do something from it.
Okay, so whatever is mentioned in the string, that will be displayed in that case, right?
So I'm just putting in the chat. There is a 3 method is there who is representing the same thing.
Yeah.
One is that e dot toString, one is that directly e, and one is the fill stack. So there already we study about the overwriting of the toString. So if we pass that, we can do something after overwriting the toString. We write our format. I think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kumar, have you tried this out, or I mean, are you guessing about it?
No, sir, I didn't try. Just see the question now. We'll try, but we know that we can override the toString earlier.
Yeah,
we
see,
did.
the toString method overriding helps when you are directly printing the object. So if you want to print an exception implicit, I mean, in your own way, you can override the toString method of that exception class, and you can write system.out.println exception e. That would give you the result. But stack trace is itself a different method, right? You are not printing an object. You are calling a function. So I don't know whether you can override print stack trace. So I'm not confirm about it, but my guess is it would not work for print stack trace if you override toString.
Okay, but this point is very good point. We can try at least.
We can?
First two will work.
We can try. I mean, when we will practice, then we will try.
Yeah, just try it. I will also check that whether toString overriding helps in print stack trace or not. Yeah, not sure about it.
Yeah.
Okay, shall I move to next question?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here, correct option is print stack trace. No. So here, so it will give only name of the exception. Okay, or a string associated with the exception. Okay, you can get it by using get message method.
No, name of the exception is right. So
Yeah,
get exception name.
Yeah.
The fourth one, right? So no.
Yeah. No.
No, it will only give the message, right?
Yeah.
The try block.
Yeah.
What's the name of the exception? Okay, we got it. Good.
Yeah. So 4 options are visible. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. See here, int a is equal to 10, b is equal to 0. Okay. In try block, I'm going to perform division operation. So if it is success, I'm going to print this one. Otherwise, yeah, what happened?
Probably unhandled exception, the C.
Unhandled exception.
Yeah, but that catch is not.
What you are trying to handle here?
But it will be compilation error because string is not a throwable class.
Okay. So here, see, you written what? Okay, string, no? So is there any exception with the name string?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. So it will generate what? Compile time error.
Yeah,
so
but
here
but catch can take anything, right? No.
No, it
catch will
be
take only the exception classes, like exception class or its subclasses. Okay, exception class and its subclasses it will accept, and throwable also it will accept. Okay, so the classes which are in the exception hierarchy, okay, all we can write in the catch block. But other than exception hierarchy classes, we not able to write anything here. And you can write user defined exception also. But here a string is not a user defined exception, no?
No, user string is a class.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you create user defined exception, then it is possible to write here. Okay, so this time it will generate compilation. Okay. Shall I move to next question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. See here. So which among the following methods can be used to handle chained exceptions? Already
Actually,
you know about this get message method and print stack trace method, no? So these two are okay, have different purpose. So remaining these init cause and get cause is there, no? So these two are used to chaining the exceptions. So I will discuss about this init cause and get cause in detail in practice session. So we have one question on this init cause and get cause. Okay. Okay, so these two are used in chaining of the exceptions. I will discuss in a practice session. Okay. Yeah. Now, 12th question. See, which among the following blocks can be used to perform cleanup operations after exception is raised?
Really?
Try, catch, finally. Which one?
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Finally. Okay. So what is the significance of finally block?
I mean, finally block will call each and every time, whether it is try catch is, I mean, try catch is there any catch or not? So whatever I have to clean from the program, I mean, before I end this particular portion, I can do it by using finally.
Okay, so finally block will execute irrespective of raising an exception in the try block, no?
Yes, yes.
So whether exception is raised or not, doesn't matter. But finally block definitely executed, no?
Yes.
Okay. Then when to use this finally block? See here, for example, in real time. So I want to store some data in my database. Okay, in my database. So first I need to establish connection with the database. Okay, so this is my first step. Okay, establish the connection. No, establish the connection, and I'm going to perform operations. Okay, we are able to perform various operations on database. No, okay, so code operations. Okay, you can perform any operation, and at last after after performing your required operations, at last you should close the connection. Okay, close the connection. Okay, so like this you return the code. Okay, I'm not writing here the full code. Okay, so first establish the connection. So I written code for establishing the connection with the database from my Java program, and I'm going to perform some operations, and I want to close the connection at last. Okay, so you should not close. Okay, you should not close before performing operations. No, yeah.
So even if I allocate the runtime memory, that I also clear in the finally block, right? Suppose dynamically if I allocate some memories.
Okay.
So that I can also clear from the finally block.
Dynamically allocated.
That type of operation. This one is okay. I do understand. I mean the database connection and.
Okay. So how you are going to allocate dynamic memory in Java? Dynamic memory
by using new. So it is automatically taken care of the database connector, or I can deallocate it.
Okay. Okay. See here. Okay, I will discuss that but later. Okay. See here. So here I'm going to establish the connection. Okay, first. Okay. After that, I'm going to perform the code operations. Okay,
Yes.
any of this operation. At last, I want to close the connection. For example, okay, so while establishing the connection, there is no error, okay, or exception, any exception not raised while establishing the connection. But while performing the operation, okay, any operations, for example, okay, I connected to the database and I want to create a table which is already exist in the database. which is already exists in the database. Then it will raise an exception. Okay, immediately, okay, all this code you written in the try block. Okay, so now whenever you are performing this operation, immediately, okay, so exception is raised. No, whenever you want to create a table, okay, already exists in the table database, it will raise an exception. Immediately your try block. Okay, for example, this code is in a try block. Okay, okay, so while performing code operations, it one exception is raised. So now it is going to, okay, search for its corresponding catch block, and it will execute the corresponding catch block and never return back to the, okay, try block. No, now this code executed or not, this closing whatever the code you written for closing the database, okay, that is not executed. Why? Because whenever exception is raised, okay, here, okay, immediately your control come to the corresponding catch block and never return back to the try block. Okay, so in this case, okay, put this closing connection, sorry, the code related to the, okay, database closing in a finally block. Okay, now what happened? So while executing this program, so there is no exception. While establishing the connection, there is no exception while performing the operations. Okay, so now your control, okay, so by neglecting catch block, it will come to the finally block and close the connection. For example, so while establishing the connection, there is no problem, but while performing operations, there is an exception. So immediately your control come out from the try block and execute its corresponding catch block, and finally it will execute the finally block also. Okay, finally block also.
Yes.
So this is the real-time usage of this finally block. Okay, so very important, because here you are opening establishing connection with your database. Okay, if you forget to close, there is a security issue. That is a security issue. Okay, that's why we should mandatory. It's mandatory to close the connection in finally block. Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, next. Yeah, somebody asked about null pointer exception, no, earlier. So this is the example for null pointer exception. See here, there is a class called parrot. Okay, so this parrot class has fly method. Okay, here parrot p is equal to null. So here, okay, so p is not instantiated. Okay, so here p is equal to null. Now you are trying to call, okay, p with a null reference. Actually this is null reference, no, so you are assigning null to this parrot p. Okay, so at compile time it won't give any, okay, it won't give any error, but at runtime, okay, so you are trying to call this fly method using a null reference, then it will generate what? Null pointer exception, no? Now you tell me. What is the output of this program?
Yeah, there is a null pointer exception that will output.
Okay, so now whenever, okay, so you are trying to call p.fly, so this is null reference, no, so null reference. So now null pointer exception is raised here, so immediately control come out from the, okay, so try block, it is going to search for the corresponding catch block. First it is going to search in this, so there is a null pointer exception is handled, no, so whatever the statements in the catch block will be displayed or executed. Okay, for example, if there is no, okay, if there is no null pointer exception written here, for example, this is arithmetic exception, what happened?
Then it will go to the second one, the exception one. There is
Yeah, second one, because
but
it can handle any type of exception, no, this is,
this
okay,
is the best
super class for all classes, so for all exceptions, no. Now it is going to handle this one, and it is going to display there is an exception.
Not only that, if you exchange the catch, I mean the first one comes to the second and second one comes to the first, then
No.
it is always Yeah.
No, then it will give next catch block is unreachable. No,
That it would be given.
But catch is the fetching according to the problem.
if you want to exchange these two positions, right?
Yeah. Then there,
Then
how it will give the
it is
example.
capable of handling any type of exception. No,
Yeah.
then this is unreachable.
Yeah, that is unreachable, but this message will come always for the
Yeah.
whatever the exception.
Yeah. Okay, is it clear? Somebody asked about a null pointer exception. Is it clear? Shall I move to next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, now you tell me this one. So here, see here, 4.5 is in string format. Okay, string format. Now I want to pass this string value into the integer. Now you tell me what is the correct option. So first option is this program generates output 4. Okay, means here it is going to convert into the integer, and it is going to store in a without this decimal point. And second option, this is going to convert it into the integer, and it is going to store with the fraction part. Just I given like that. Okay, whether it is correct or not, you have to decide. Okay, this program terminates due to input mismatch exception. Okay, this program terminates due to number format exception. Last one. Which exception raised?
So that 4.5 is a string. It should be 4, no? Because we are converting that into integer.
Whether this line successfully convert or not, it will convert or not. It won't. Why? Actually, this parsing method, this parsing method expected what? Integer value in string format.
Yes.
Okay, but you given 4.5. No, now it will generate number format exception. Okay, it will generate what? Number format exception. Okay, so actually, this integer format without any decimal point, no, there is no fractions, no, integer won't have any fractions, no, so it is a whole value like 4, 5, 10 like that. Okay, so if you give like this, it will generate number format exception like this. Okay, so your program terminates due to number format exception. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If there would have been float, then no exception.
No, that time also, no. So this parsing method expected what? This.
No, is there any corresponding parse float method?
Yeah, parse float method is also there, no? Float dot parse float. See here.
Yes, so
for
in
example,
that case, it wouldn't have generated error.
See here. Float dot parse float is there, no?
Yes, so what I was saying that if there would have been like float b equal to parse, float dot parse float,
4.5. You should mention here f, no?
Corresponding syntax, then it wouldn't generate error.
Yeah, here you should mention 4. Otherwise, so it will treat it as a double, no? You should differentiate between double and float, no? So for float, you should mention 4.5 f for float. If it is double, you no need to mention f here. So you are saying that float a is equal to float dot parse float of 4.5. It will work properly, right? No?
Yes.
No, it won't work, because so you should mention f here, because your float dot parse float method expected so fractional point along with F. Otherwise, it will generate a number format exception definitely.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
By default, it is try to make it double. No.
Yeah. For example, double A is equal to double dot parse double of. Then it won't generate any exception.
Yeah, but I'm calling the float class, right? So that should take default, right? Here integer, right? A equal to integer dot parseInt. So when I will use the float A equal to float dot parse float, right?
Parse float of you want to give 4.5 only, right?
Yeah, 4.5. So
You
that
should
is also
mention F also. Okay, 1 second. I will do here. For example, here. So
no. I
here
mean
float A is equal to
uh-huh.
float dot parse float of, yeah, here 4.5 you want, right? Yeah. Not executed before, but we'll see. I think it will generate exception because float it expected F, no? I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay.
No, I actually, if it is a different class, then same class. That's why
Oh, okay.
by default it should take my expectation.
Actually, it expected here F, no? So we should differentiate float and double with.
Yeah. Generally we do. Yes.
Yeah. I too don't know, but I not executed before this. That's why I tell like that. Okay. Yeah. So it is working. So you try change this as a double, then also it will work double. But here double dot parse double of double dot. Yeah. Now it will work. So because this is in double format only, no? Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Sir, one question is, can you go that previous question?
Okay.
That one more, the 13th. Yes. Where I have one question. Whenever that parallel catch is there, the 2, 3 multiple catches is there, and suppose that due to some error, it's landed on the first catch. So what happened after that program? It's run rest of catch or the directly jump from all the catch. Suppose first catch is executed.
Okay.
After that first catch, it's also check the second catch, or that it's directly jump all the catch and terminate.
No. Whenever it found its corresponding catch block, it will execute it, and it won't check remaining catch blocks. Okay. So if it checks, then it should be it also should be executed, no? So if it is found its corresponding catch block, why it should go for another catch blocks? For example, in switch case is there, no? So in switch case, you are going to pass something, and it is going to check, okay, each and every case. Whenever, okay, it found, we are going to break it, no? So same thing.
Kumar, only one exception is caught. Okay, only one among those exceptions is caught, and the control will come out. If you have a finally loop, finally block, that will be executed, and then it comes out of the full thing.
So then one question is there, ma'am. So like that, Mr. Asim asked that one question earlier, what will happen when we replace the catch? That exception is going the first and the null pointer is going to next. So
you exchange the two, right? You exchange the two. Then what happens is the catch null pointer will become unreachable code, no? Because the higher exception is all like the exception is there, and you'll never come to the null pointer exception, right?
Yes. So that means exception will occur, and after that it will jump that null pointer.
As I understand, it will actually give you a message that you have unreachable code in Java or something. Some message will come.
So yes, I tried to run that and it's giving the error.
Yeah, what error is it giving?
Its error is giving that null pointer is already mentioned before. And
No,
it is
what you're saying is you simply exchange the exception with null pointer, right? I mean, you
yes,
just change the
it,
ordering of catch exception and catch null pointer exception blocks, right?
correct. It's compiling error, not even the
So you
none
know
of.
the exception hierarchy is there, right? So if you have a higher exception on top, then the null pointer exception is on bottom, then it will never go to that null pointer exception, right? Because it has been caught at a higher level, no?
Yes, but the compile time error is coming that null pointer exception has already been called. So how it is telling that means
Yeah. So null pointer exception has been caught by exception block. So why do you need another catch null pointer below?
Yeah.
That's what it means, no? See, suppose you had arithmetic exception here, okay? Instead of null pointer exception, if you had put an arithmetic exception, but the code is generating a null pointer exception, then that will be caught in this general exception clause, right? See,
Yes.
suppose instead of null pointer exception, you had written, say, arithmetic exception E, okay? And then you have the next catch exception E, okay?
Yes.
Okay, there is no arithmetic exception generated here. Only you have null pointer exception, right? So in arithmetic exception block, this is not caught, but it will go to the exception block, correct?
Okay.
Because there is no arithmetic exception generated, right? See, what I'm trying, okay, maybe I'm confusing you. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have the higher exception on top and the lower exception, which is null specialized exception on bottom, then the first block would have caught whatever exception is generated, it would have caught it there. So why are you again writing this? So null pointer exception has already been caught. So why do you have another catch block for null pointer exception below?
Yeah, so that's why at that time, I mean, when the inner block question was there, that time I was saying, if you, I mean, that student, I mean, that Akash or somebody, I mean, if you use the multiple catch, then we need to use this exception in such a way that the last derived class will be first and the parent class will be last in the catch block. Otherwise, there will be a problem.
That's
I mean,
see, there may be exceptions which are not comparable in the hierarchy, right? It's not like there is no descendant relationship between the two. The ascendant descendant relationship is not between two. Then you can write it in any order, right?
Yeah, I mean, for that particular case is different, but all the exception is derived from these exceptions.
Yeah, that's correct. You are right. So the more general exception or generic or whatever exception, that should come at the bottom, and specialized exception should be on top, right?
Yes. Okay. So exception will be at the last. All other will be covered before that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So here that interchanging the catching is the error. It is not a correct program.
Yeah, I think even Java will not allow it. I have not tried it, but my understanding is Java will not even allow it.
So it is better to, if there is a specialized exception, I should mention the first. And once I mention that exception directly, the root exception, so after that, I should not mention any other exception because that exception is the root.
Yeah. So see, if you're anticipating any specific exceptions, right, and you want to give some customized messages, so you're getting arithmetic exception, you want to say that maybe you try changing the value of C. That is a message you want to print out. Okay. In that case, you would specifically use the arithmetic exception because you know that this is likely to come and this is what the message you want to give to the user. Okay. But suppose you don't know what exception is going to come. In that case, you can use this generalized exception. So as far as possible, you should use, if you are able to anticipate what kind of exception is going to use, you should use the more specialized exception so that you can give customized messages. But if you're unsure of what kind of message is going to come, then you have to use this generic exception.
Not only that, if I have to write the many exception blocks, then we can generalize by using the general exception and the print trace or something like that, or get message if I take, and I can write down my own way.
Yeah, correct. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
So my thing is in the last that after writing the exception E, we are not going to write any specialized exception. It will give the error until unless that exception is predefined, means my defined, my own exception. That I can write after exception E. Otherwise, predefined exception I can't write after the catch exception E.
No,
So your
user-defined exceptions have to come on top. Sorry, Bhaskara, sorry to
No, yeah, it's okay. Ma'am. So no kind of exception you can write once you write exception is, because even if you define a user-defined exception, that also must extend from exception class. You cannot
Okay.
define an exception just like that. The format
Got
is
it.
class, whatever class name you want to give, extends
Yes.
exception. Okay,
Correct.
so you should have that. We will discuss those codes once after I think we have questions.
Okay, so no way we are going to write, if anything I will write after exception E, it will give the error in any case.
Yeah, because you were talking about this optimizations and most proper way to do something, right? So
Yes.
you know that in the just-in-time compile, we discussed in that time that whenever the main idea of compilation is you will eliminate things which are not required. So there is something called dead code elimination. So if you are writing anything, any specialized exception catch after exception E, that particular block will never be executed because exception E will catch everything. And this works in a fall through manner that one by one the catch would be checked. And whenever it is matching, it would take. So any specialized exception after the superclass exception E catch block will never be executed because the superclass block will have all the time it will catch all kind of exceptions. Okay, so it's just a dead code which will never be executed anytime. And since Java thinks about this optimization thing, so it will just not allow you to have any dead code. In C, C++, a part of code which will never execute, but Java does not allow that.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes. But I never tried with the Java. So, but with the other different object-oriented language, but I
That's
never
why I said
found.
it works. C++ allows where you write anything while sign inverse minus equal to -6, right? Something
Not
like
C++.
this.
Even I tried with the C# also.
C# also allows, yeah.
Yeah.
.NET, anything. This language is allowed. Java will not allow.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, so as to speak now, if you go into details, it is about the just-in-time compilation. The just-in-time compiler will check that this code, whenever it is executing, should I mark it as hot or cold? I discussed that thing once. So whenever it is checking hot and cold, it will see that this code is never generated. Never executed. Then what should I mark? Is it hot code or a cold code or a medium level code? What is it? Then it will, since it is never executed, that means it is, why I'm having this in this code? Just remove it. And that's why you get the error. Okay. So that is called dead code elimination in compilers.
Okay. Bhaskar, shall I proceed?
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. See this. Cool. See here in try block, C is equal to A by B. Okay. So I'm going to print this statement. Okay, if it is success. Otherwise, okay. So it is going to handle the arithmetic exception. B value should not be 0. It is going to print if there is an exception. Okay. Yeah. Now you tell me what is the answer. Here I have passed the values. E dot division of 12 comma 0.
It will print quotient is 0.
It will print
Quotient is 0.
coefficient is 0. Why?
Because we are doing 0 by 12. He
Yeah.
will be 0.
Yeah. Okay. So see here. Here order of parameter is okay different, no? So here into B, okay, into A. Okay. So now, so here E dot division of 12 means now 12 is going to store in a B and 0 is going to store in A. Now 0 by 12. Okay, 0 by 12. So it will give coefficient is 0. Okay, there is no exception is rise, no. So it will neglect the catch flag. So answer is coefficient is 0. Is it clear? So here, so you should see this one. Okay. So if you not seen this order of the parameter, you may think they are 12 by 0 like that. Okay. Is it clear?
This example, it will comment the catch, right? No?
What?
It will comment the catch, right? 12 by 0. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is 0 by.
I got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. At the time of division, is just exchanging the variable.
Yeah. So that's why I given like this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See here, which of the following classes is or not okay in java.lang packages? So actually, while executing the programs, okay, so I got these exceptions. So I found that these two exceptions are not part of java.lang package. Basically, all exceptions are okay available in java.lang package as a part of java.lang. Okay, but these two exceptions are not part of java.lang package.
They are of utils package.
Yeah, util package. Yes, exactly. These two are. See here, these are defined in the java.util package. Okay, basically, most of the exceptions are belongs to java.lang only. Okay, so these two exceptions are not belongs to java.lang package. Okay. So this is like just additional information. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See this code and
Will print 0 and -10.
0 and -10. Okay.
Yes,
Which option? Option number?
C.
This one, no?
Yeah. Yes, because in the catch of it will catch and then print 0, and then still it will continue executing and printing sum, which is -10.
Okay. So for first iteration, what happened for first iteration? Is there any exception raised? So I is equal to -1. -1 is less than 3. It is correct, no? -1 is less than 3. It is correct. So sum is equal to sum by I. So what is the sum value?
10.
10 by what is the I value?
-1.
Okay. So now sum is -10. No. Okay. Sum is -10. Okay. Now I value incremented by 1. What is the I value? Now for second iteration.
Yeah, it's 0.
0. No. So now 0 less than 3. Is it correct or not?
Yeah, correct.
Correct. No, it will come into the loop. Now sum is equal to sum by what? 0. Okay. So sum value -10. No. -10 by 0. Okay. So anything by 0, it will generate the what?
Exception by 0 exception.
Okay. Divide by 0 exception.
0 exception.
So immediately your control come out from the try block and it will execute the what? Corresponding catch block. So it will print 0. Okay. Means here it is in string format. Okay. So here what is the latest value of the sum?
-10.
-10. So that gets printed. Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah, but if I make integer is a unsigned int, and it will be a different result.
Yeah. Okay. Is it clear?
Clear.
No. This one. You can easily get it.
Yeah, C is the answer.
C is the answer. How?
Because when println will first print will push the parameters, right? So 0 divided by 0 when it will operate, that time.
Here 0 by 0, anything by 0, it will generate what?
Yeah, it will generate arithmetic exception, right?
Arithmetic exception. So immediately come out from the okay, try block, and it is going to search for the corresponding catch block. It is there, no? So simply it will print denominator should not be 0. Okay, so there is no compilation error. Okay, it is very straightforward question. Shall I move to next question? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is also a straightforward question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what happened?
Sir, it's also C, because here exit is there, right? So finally will not be executed.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Exit means termination of the program.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So here it definitely it will raise what arithmetic exception. So now control come out from the try block and it is going to execute its corresponding catch block. So here it is going to print, okay, this one denominator should not be 0. Okay, so as per the hierarchy of this, okay, it should execute what finally block, no? But here you are, okay, so explicitly terminating your program by using system.exit method. Okay, so this exit method is predefined method in system class. Okay, so whenever you call this exit method, so your program, okay, so explicitly terminated. So it won't come to the finally block. It won't come to the finally block. Okay, so just for activity purpose we given like this. So here why I given this system.exit means, so while writing your program, if you want to exit from your program at any point of time, so you can use system.exit. Okay, so you can exit okay, abnormally from your program by using system.exit. Okay, so there is no specific purpose, but so not only in this case, okay, if any while writing your code, so if in any case you want to exit from your program, then you can use this system.exit method. Okay, now you tell me which what is the answer? A or B or C or D?
Yeah, exit is not there or exit is there?
Exit is there.
Oh, okay, then third, C is the answer.
C is the answer. Okay, so because here you are, okay, explicitly, okay, terminating your program.
Yeah, I'm forcefully terminating the program.
Forceful termination. Okay. Now this one. See here, actually there is no point of what we call a null pointer exception. Okay, in previous example we have we are going to call p.fly method using null reference. No, in such a case we are going to get null pointer exception. But here what I am doing, so here I'm explicitly actually, okay, so there is no chance of getting, okay, null pointer exception here. Okay, I not written any code, but here what I am doing, I'm explicitly throwing what null pointer exception. Okay, with the message hello. Okay, hello. Now here I written what, okay, catch block with the arithmetic exception. What happened?
What throw is returning the address of the object, right? Null pointer exception objects.
Yeah, it will raising exception explicitly. Okay, it is, okay, throwing explicitly by the programmer. Actually there is no code, okay, to generate okay, this null pointer exception. Okay, there is no harmful code, okay, to generate this null pointer exception, but I'm explicitly throwing by using throw keyword. Okay,
yeah,
now
but
what
it
happened?
will be option will be D.
Option will be D. Why?
Because it is throwing, right? The throw will be done, so it will come into the catch block. But the catch has no such exceptions, right?
Yeah, there is no corresponding catch block. No, you are throwing explicitly. No, now your control come out from the try block. It is going to search for the corresponding catch block. Okay, so here you are throwing what explicitly null pointer exception. Now control come out from the try block. It is search for the null pointer exception catch block. There is no corresponding catch block. No, so now your program terminate due to unhandled exception. Okay, it won't print anything like this. Is it clear?
Yeah.
See here. So here A is what? A is a user defined exception. Already I said no. So if you want to create user defined
Sorry
exception.
to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. I mean that there was force null pointer exception, and what I mean there was this hello message inside that.
Yeah.
So I mean that hello message is redundant over here.
Redundant means I'm not getting. Here actually this
I mean
null point.
there is nothing like system.print out something like that. There is only a string hello is mentioned over there.
Yeah, here this
what is the meaning of that?
Yeah, here null pointer exception expected string parameter here. So this null pointer exception in null pointer exception class we have parameterized constructor. That's why we should pass this string parameter here, sorry, string argument here while throwing the object. So this is object, no? So new null pointer exception of hello you should pass, otherwise it will generate error. Okay, so in null pointer exception class, so it defines what constructor with the string parameter.
This is explicit.
Yeah, explicit. Okay.
No, if suppose this code doesn't need, if is there any way that this code doesn't throw any error?
Not get, can you repeat once?
So error means compilation error or
pass hello particularly, correct? I mean, you said what I understand, you said that one has to pass the string hello explicitly.
Yeah, actually, so whenever
the null pointer exception,
whenever any exception is raised, corresponding string message is going to display, no? String associated string is going to display, no? So in previous what we call in previous questions I executed e.print stack trace. Did you remember that? E.print stack trace.
Yes.
Yeah, then it is going to display java.long.arithmetic exception colon some string is there, no corresponding string, divide by 0 like that.
Yeah, actually this class is a two constructor.
So this is basically explicit.
Actually your voice is not clear to me.
I said now I get it. I mean it will throw the exception and after the colon hello will be printed.
Yes.
Okay.
No, hello will not be printed.
Here not printed. Here not printed because we are not handling, no.
We are not handling.
If you write here, if you write here null pointer exception, then it will print hello definitely. See here, 1 second. I will write the code, then we'll try. Okay, throw new null pointer exception of here hello. Okay, so I'm writing corresponding catch block here. Catch block. So sysout. Okay, sysout here. I'm going to write null pointer exception. Okay, null pointer exception E. See here. See here. Hello is printed or not?
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah.
Because we are
No,
handling.
but in catch statement, if I'm putting instead of E, I'm putting B.
Oh, like this, then it will be printed. Whatever the user defined message you written, that is going to print it. If you print the object, okay, then it is going to add to the object. It will add to the object only. Okay, this hello message will add to the object. Okay. See here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you tell me. So here A is user defined exception. So it is extended from the exception class. Okay. Now here I written in catch block A E. So system.out.println of B. Now what happened?
So it will print only B.
It will print only B. Why? Why not hello?
Oh, hello. I didn't write. I didn't try to print object, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So you are not trying to print this object. If you try to print this object, this hello gets added to the object, no? Okay. So now what it will generate? What is the output of this program?
Yeah, B, the option A. Yes.
Okay, option A is the okay.
Correct.
For suppose, if you write here array index out of bounds exception, then
Would you please coming in the question?
no, it is not coming in the question. Just I am asking. Then your program terminated due to unhandled exception. No? If you write, for example, here, in case of A, if you replace it with arithmetic exception.
Yeah. Then it will go to the D option.
Okay, D option.
The corresponding cast is not.
Yeah. So here class negative age extends exception. Okay. Yeah, this is a user defined exception. Okay, with the name a negative age. So here class A throws exception, and class B it is extended from A. It is extended from A. Now I want to override this show method. Okay, this show method in B. Okay, in class B. Now, okay, what are the possible overridden methods, or what are the possible overridden methods in class A? Sorry, class B. Okay. See here, in class A, I define a method with the name show by throwing an exception. Now I want to override this show method, okay, in class B by throwing different exceptions like negative age, IO exception, and arithmetic exception. Like this. Okay, if there is no if there is no what we call this throws, there is no problem. But here I'm throwing, yeah.
Option A can be written because it's extend from the exception, right? Sure.
Then what about this IO? These are also subclasses of the exception only. In exception hierarchy, every exception class is subclass of the exception only.
Yes.
Yeah,
so all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above are possible. Okay, so all are compatible with this exception. Okay, because all these are subclasses of the exception only. Okay, so here negative age, actually this is not predefined one. This is user defined one. In our program, we are extended it from exception class. But these are this IO exception and this arithmetic exception. All these are okay by default predefined subclasses of the exception class. So all these are possible. Okay, if you want to try, you can try in your program. what it will generate. Try. Here I am returning hello. So because it's return type is string, no. So in catch block I am returning world. So what it will return? If you try to call this method object dot show, it is going to return some method. Sorry, return some string. So I'm going to print here. Yeah, object dot show. What it will return?
So it will show hello world.
Hello world both.
Because user is
Option
returning.
A, B, C, or D.
I think
In catch, can I write return statement? I think compilation error. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm also not sure.
Okay. See here. Actually, so in try block, you are able to return like this, no problem. Okay, that's for sure.
Okay.
Okay, now you tell me.
It will print only hello.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, the
And
function
one more
will
answer
be,
is there, no? Already somebody answered like hello world.
no. I mean, it never goes to the exception block.
Yeah, there is no exception, no. There is no exception riser, no. So there is no exception rise. Just we are returning hello. That's it. So now your control is neglecting this catch block. Okay. So whenever exception rise, then only your control will come into the catch block. So there is no exception now.
And the return is such a statement, such a keyword. I mean, if it is failed, then it will not go to the exception also.
Yeah. So return hello. So now it is going to print only hello in this case. Okay, is it clear?
Sir, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember a similar question in PDSA where return was put inside a try block, and then inside finally also a return was kept. So in Java, if a return is kept inside the try block and another return is kept inside finally, which is executed? What is the return?
Yeah. See here. Actually, see here. Try catch executed. Okay, already I said catch block executed whenever exception is raised in the try block, but finally executed irrespective of raising an exception in the try block. No, whether exception raised in the try block, okay, or not, doesn't matter, but finally definitely executed. No, so if you write finally and return something, so first it is going to execute try block. Okay, so definitely it will come to the finally block, and whatever the value you return in the finally block, okay, that is final. Okay, that will be returned as a return type. Definitely.
Okay, sir.
Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now packages concept. So these are very easy questions. So you can answer by reading the question. Now you tell me. See here. Consider the following Java code and choose the correct option. Where exception is raised. Sorry, error will come. Whether program compiled successfully or not. Is there any error at line number 1, or is there any error at line number 2, and is there any exception at line number 1?
There should be an error at line number 2 because package should actually come first.
Package should come first, and you can write any number of import statements in your program. No, is there any restriction that you only write only one import statement in your program? No, but what about package? Can you write more than one package statement? No. Yeah.
In a single file? No.
Yeah, in a single file, I'm asking. No. So that is the next question, actually. So package IATM, package Java. So class pack1. So public void show. So if you try to compile this program, whether it is compiled successfully or not, is there any error at line number 1 or 2 or yeah, is there any exception at line number 1?
So at line 2, because we cannot define two packages.
Yeah, so at line number 1, as per syntax, you can write one package statement. Okay, so you should not write okay second package statement. No, so at line number 2, you will get compilation.
But
Okay.
first one, and I mean, if you move to the please, the question number 1.
Okay, question number 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, package IITM, right?
Yeah.
Where is the problem?
Package IITM. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm writing only one, right?
Yeah, I'm writing only one.
This program will successfully compile.
This one?
Yeah, first one.
No, because package statement should come first. No.
Oh, okay. Before it.
Yeah. So all these are syntactical. Okay. Should know about this. That's why we given as activity questions. Yeah. Now, which of the following declarations are valid? Package declarations. Package mypack means here you are creating your class in a mypack package. Okay. Package pack1.pack2 means here you are creating your class in here. Pack1 is a main package. In that, pack2 is a sub package. Okay. Here,
yeah, all of the above.
You are creating your class in pack2. It is a sub package of pack1. Okay. Now, so package pack1.pack2.pack3 means here you are creating your class in pack3. Okay. It is a sub package of pack2. Okay. This pack2 is sub package of the pack1 like this. So all of the above are possible. Okay. All of the above are possible. So if you want to try, you can try. Okay.
Sir, the question for this is not displayed correctly in the portal.
Oh. What?
Yeah, it's
Time error at line number 1. This is the question written there.
This question?
Yes, this one.
The title for the question there.
Okay, we will check it. Okay.
Yes, sir, thanks.
Yeah. See here. Package Java. Okay. And public class example. So here I defined one method that is show. Now I want to compile this program. Yeah. Whether it is compiled or not.
See, it is already there as Java, right?
Yeah.
So it is already there. I'm trying to create one, right?
Yeah.
So it will give that error, right? Java.lang. Or Java.util.
So just I'm asking whether it is compiled or not. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, option B is correct. Because you cannot create a package using Java.
Okay. Actually, see here, it won't give any error at compile time.
Okay.
But it is not recommended to create a package with name Java. Okay. See here. Here only I want to create. See here. I'm going to create package with the name Java. See here. Sorry. Here Java. Finish. Okay. Here new class employee. Okay. Employee. Okay. Employee class is there. So here what I'm doing is I'm going to define a method public void show. Okay, public void show. Okay, so sys out. Okay, sys out. This is what? Employee class. Okay, this is employee class. I written like this. Now this is okay, different package, and this is different package. No, so example class. So in example class, what I'm doing is I'm going to access, okay, I'm going to access this employee class in example class. These two are okay, reside in different packages. Okay, so now what I'm doing is, so here new, okay, new java dot employee dot show. Yeah. See here, it is possible. So you are okay, so you are calling, okay, you are calling your employee method by using its package name, new java dot employee dot show. For suppose if you imported this java, see here, it is saying that I don't know. Okay, I don't know this one. Create a class employee, or otherwise you can import it. Okay, so should import it like import java dot employee like this. Okay, now error will go. No, yeah. Now if you try to execute it, it won't give any compilation error. Is there any compilation error here? Is there any compilation error here?
It should not be.
Oh, now if you try to access this in other package, see here, it will generate exception. Java.long.security exception, prohibited package name, okay, Java. So it's not recommended. So it won't give any compilation error, but it's not
Why?
recommended.
So why is it not giving error that main method is not there?
So actually at compile time, okay, at compile time, just you are creating a class under, okay, Java package, but you are not using, no, you are not using anywhere. Whenever you try to use, then only it will generate the error. Okay, whenever you are trying to access this Java package, then only it will give the error. So until unless, okay, so you're not using this one, it won't give any error. Whenever you are trying to, okay, access this, okay, so you are writing what java.employee, no, so this is what predefined package. Okay, you created, okay, user defined class in a predefined package. Okay, when it will know, when you are trying to execute this program, that time JVM is going to check that. Okay, it is going to, okay, you are going to access, okay, employee class from Java package. This is what predefined package. That time, okay, JVM is going to check. Okay, you created this employee class in a predefined package called Java. So this is not okay, recommended. Okay, so prohibited package name Java. At compile time, it won't give any error.
So it is only for Java, or if I use any other package name which is already in the libraries, that also give the same error?
For all, for all.
For all.
Yeah, actually every package name should start with Java, no? Basically.
No, suppose if I mean, I can add my own one into the Java library also, right? The same.
Yeah. For user defined, it won't give, I think. For user defined package, it won't give any error, I think.
In the package folder, if I put it, okay, I don't know. I mean,
okay.
I never do that.
Okay, is it clear?
Yeah. Actually, the compiler is very afraid of that.
Yeah, yeah. See here. Oh, sorry. Actually, I want to hide the options. Now you tell me. Package util dot, okay, IITM dot program. Okay, so here you are going to create a class pack4. Public void show is a method. Now if you try to execute this program, what happens?
Compile successfully.
Okay, it will compile successfully because
Yeah.
util that is
compile?
java.util successfully, right?
Yeah, it will, okay, compile the program successfully. Okay. It won't generate any error. Okay, no issues with these package names.
No, that package java.util, right?
Yeah.
Not util.
Yeah. So it won't give any issues. It won't give any compile time, compile time or runtime error. It won't. We don't have any restrictions to create like this. Okay, if you write java.util, it may generate error at runtime, I think. Okay, but there is no problem with this package name. Okay, util.iatm.
So if I create that package with java.util.iatm, then there will be any issue?
Actually, I not tried like that. Okay, so we can see.
I mean, they don't allow it or not.
Yeah. So we'll try.
Okay.
Yeah. So now my question. So if you compile this program, successfully compiled, and it will generate pack.class file, no? Pack.class. Okay. Now pack.class, okay, generated in which package? Util or IATM or program?
Yeah, class will be under it. Pack4.
Under which folder? Actually, every
program
package is treated as a folder.
Program.
So util is a main folder. Under that, IATM is a subfolder. Under that, program is a subfolder. Now, if you try to compile this program, pack.class will be generated after successful compilation. Now, this pack.class, okay, reside in which package? Whether
Program.
util or IATM or program?
Program.
Program only. Okay, program only. Yeah, that question.
No, suppose that the in the previous question that
Okay.
pack 4 was in IITM. Suppose pack 4 was in
You want
IIT.
to? Okay. So you want to remove this program, right?
No. Suppose pack 4 is a pack. Class is defined in the sub package IITM.
No issues because
is that
yeah, no issues because if you want to access pack 4 from IITM package, then you should import like util.iatm.pack4. Then whatever the class you defined, okay, in the IITM with the name pack4 will be imported. And if you want to,
so no. I'm so suppose pack 4 is there in IITM, but
okay.
I am initiating with calling package IITM.program and calling pack 4 which is there in the IITM. I mean pack 4 is resting in IITM and program is within a further sub package in IITM, and I am calling till program and then trying to access class pack 4. So it will throw an error.
Actually, your voice in middle, I'm not able to get your voice.
Is it audible now?
Yeah.
So I'm saying pack 4 is resting in IITM sub package, and I am calling the program sub package which is there. Then this program will compile
Sorry,
successfully
actually,
or
your
through
voice is breaking in the middle.
No, actually, he is asking that util.iatm.package. So package 4 will be the IITM, but he is importing the program. Then there will be error.
Yeah, I think it won't give any error because actually these packages can remove the naming conventions. Okay, for example.
No, I mean when I will call that time, the statement will be the import util.iatm.program, and after that, if I try to call the pack 4 in my execution class, sorry, execution program, then what will happen? It will give you error, right? It will give us error, right? Because I'm trying to call the program. I mean,
Okay.
include the program, importing the program, not the IITM.
Okay.
Isn't
So
it?
we'll try that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
I'm
that
not
is
sure.
his question. That is his question, actually. His voice is broken, but I do understand these things.
Okay. Do you want me to try now or?
No, sir, I will try and find it out. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So this already we discussed, no? So if you compile this program, definitely this example dot class is going to generate in program folder, no? Yeah, next. Yeah. See here. Here I not imported scanner class, okay, but I want to use scanner class in my program. How is it possible? In which way we can use scanner class, okay, without importing it explicitly?
Yeah, that time I can give the direct full path, right?
Yeah, full path. So which is the correct path?
The first one.
So if you write this statement, for example, so scanner is equal to new scanner of system.in. What happened? So your compiler is going to ask, I don't know this scanner class. Definitely, because you are not imported. Okay. So java.util package here, no? Now, what about this one? Is it possible?
No, that is syntactically incorrect.
Syntactically incorrect. So this is what?
No, importing should happen before. I mean, it should be standard import. We are instantiating over here.
Yeah. So here java.util.scanner means you are importing with fully qualified name, no? So java.util.scanner. Okay. So if you don't want to import using import statement, you can also import a class like this. Okay, using its package name. So java.util.scanner. Scanner is equal to new java.util.scanner of system.in. Like this, you can import your class. Okay. For example, if you write java.lang.scanner, then java.lang.scanner, then what happened?
It will raise an error because it's
raise an
not
error
inside.
Because
yeah.
Okay, your compiler is going to check whether scanner class is in java.lang package or not. Okay, so it is not able to find the scanner class in java.lang package. So definitely it will generate an error. Okay.
Yes.
So this is another way of importing. Okay, the package. Okay. So up to 7.3 and 7.4 and 7.5 discussed by Arup sir in next live session. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
1 second. 1 second. So I want to discuss user defined exception. So it will take only 5 to 10 minutes. Shall I discuss?
Yeah.
Sure, sir. Please.
Okay. See here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this package, I will do it. Yeah. See here. Here, what I'm doing is here I want to know whether candidate is eligible for vote or not. Okay. Scanner is equal to new scanner of system.in. Okay. Here, okay, I'm going to read the age of the candidate. Okay, I'm asking, okay, age of the candidate. See here, age of the candidate. Now int age is equal to, okay, age is equal to scanner dot next int of, okay, now I got the age of the candidate. Now I'm going to check if age is greater than or is equal to 18. Now I'm going to print what? Okay, so candidate is eligible for vote. Candidate is eligible for vote. Otherwise, what? Yeah, otherwise not eligible for vote. No, not eligible for vote. So like this. See here, for example, I given age as 18. Candidate is eligible for vote. For example, I entered 16. Candidate is not eligible for vote. For example, I given minus 18. Actually, age should be, okay, positive number. No, there is no negative age, right? Is there any negative age?
No.
Okay, age should be what? In positive only, no? Okay, so now I want to raise an exception whenever you enter age value as negative. Okay, age value as negative. I want to throw an exception explicitly. I want to create my own exception. Okay, now I'm going to create one exception. Okay, negative age. Okay, negative age. So already I said no. So you should extend it from exception class. Okay, and you should define a parameterized constructor here. Okay, so negative age, okay, with string parameter. These are the rules. Okay, we should follow these rules while creating the user defined exceptions. Okay, we should follow these constraints. Okay, we should call superclass constructor in the subclass constructor by passing string parameter. So whatever the exception you want to create, okay, so you create like this only. Okay, so class negative age. Okay, this is my user defined class. Okay, so if you want to create your user defined class, you should extend it from, okay, exception class. Okay, exception class, and you should define, okay, parameterized constructor, and you should call superclass constructor in a subclass constructor. So these are the rules we have to follow while creating the user defined exception. Okay, now you tell me when you want to raise an exception. When you want to raise an exception, please tell me. If yeah,
less than 0.
yeah, if age is less than 0. Okay, if age is less than 0, actually this exception not raised, okay, not raised, okay, automatically, means with the code. Okay, so you should write, you should what we call raise, yeah, you should raise this exception explicitly, because this negative age exception unknown to the compiler and JVM. Okay, now throw this exception whenever age is less than 0.
New
Okay,
negative
throw
age.
new negative age. So it
Now
will take what? A string parameter, no?
String parameter, yeah.
Okay, so I'm giving negative age here. Okay.
Negative age is not allowed. Some message.
What happened? Yeah. No need to worry. Actually, this is checked exception, no? Because it is extended from the exception class.
No,
okay?
try catch is required.
Yeah, we should write in a try catch, or you should you can declare the throws here. See here, it will ask add throws declaration, or otherwise you can surround it with try catch. Okay. Yeah, right, corresponding catch plan. Sorry. Catch. And here there may be a chance of getting negative age exception.
Yeah,
Okay.
but still that candidate is not eligible for vote will come.
See here.
Yeah, I mean, if we write like this, then again.
Sys out. Okay, sys out E. Okay,
Yeah,
sys out E.
Yeah, but still candidate is not eligible for vote will come.
Oh, we'll see what happened. So enter age 18. Candidate is eligible for vote. Okay, enter age. I am entering negative 10. See here, com dot live session dot negative age colon negative age. So we are raising this negative age exception explicitly. No, so then you should write like this. Else means if age is greater than 0, then only it will check these conditions. See here, now enter age 18. What happened? Candidate is eligible for vote. Okay, next. Here 16. Candidate is not eligible for vote. Now you entered minus value, minus 18. See here, if age is less than, okay, 0, means you entered negative value. Okay, then it is rising an exception, negative age exception, and it is going to handle here. Okay, and it never return back, it never goes to the else, this part. For example, if you enter positive value, then it will come to this else block. Here it is going to check. Okay, even it is positive, it will check this condition, whether it is greater than or is equal to 18 or not. Okay, if it is greater than or is equal to 18, then it will display candidate is eligible for vote. Otherwise, it will display candidate is not eligible for vote, like this. Is it clear? Okay, so for suppose this is the predefined error message. No, actually com dot live session not, okay, negative age colon negative age. Okay, it is not it does not make any sense. No, so now instead of displaying this predefined exception details, simply what I'm telling that, okay, please enter positive value. Okay, please enter positive value, like this. Now see here, if I enter minus 18, now end user can easily understand what is the mistake here. Please enter positive value. That is the purpose of the catch flag actually. So here you can write user friendly error message. Okay, actually catch flag handle the exception. If you print this exception object here, okay, as it is, it will give the predefined exception details. Okay, so as a developer, we know the details of an exception, but end user don't know the details of an exception. Then that time we should convert this object into user friendly error message, like this. Now next time, okay, while executing, he won't enter the negative value. No.
Okay, I have one. It is different than this subject which you are discussing.
Yeah.
Suppose I'm creating one generic class. So I have one function. That function will return the same class in which it is creating. How I can do that?
Generic class.
Yeah. Suppose have a public class, example angle bracket T.
Okay.
And one of the member function, okay, suppose print, but print will return the same generic class T, example T. So how we can write it in the program?
Okay. So I don't know, but we should practice it. Yeah.
No, I tried, but I didn't get it. So that's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So can you send that code? Then I will look into it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, suppose if I write down the public class example, angle bracket T, right? Now it is generic class, right?
Yeah.
So if I mean that, okay, take it as a main function, it is a void, right? But it will return the example angle t. So how I will write? I mean, I'm writing, but it's giving error. Example angle bracket t, but it's giving me the error.
Okay.
That's. I mean, if you could help me.
Yeah, can you send that code? I will look into it and I will revert back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll post it into the.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This one, where you send that?
Which one are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking. Did you send it or?
No, I didn't send. I mean, I have to send.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
I will do that today.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, and have a nice day, everybody.